Ferdi Schueth, you are a professor at Max Planck Institute for Forschung. We know each other for long. You have been just participating to a panel discussion at ICC on energy transitioning. In a nutshell, can you explain from your perspective the main message of this panel discussion?
Well, I think the panel more or less agreed that we have all the bits and pieces we need for the energy transition in principle there. That doesn't mean we don't need research anymore. It means we should maybe make new inventions to make things even better. We have to get things cheaper because cost is one of the big issues. But maybe the most important one, we have to deploy things at scale. We are trying to change our energy system. We are talking terawatts. And this is not something you do in a Friday afternoon. You need decades in transitioning the whole thing. And every day we wait is one day too long, I would say. And I think the group agreed deploying at scale and cost is the most important issue.
Thank you, Ferdi. So how important is the role of catalysis in this energy transitioning?
I would say catalysis is one of the key disciplines. Wherever you look into the energy system, there are catalytic aspects to it. If we produce electricity, we need to do something with the electricity. As long as we have cables, everything is fine, but if we produce electricity in Australia and need it in Japan or Northern Europe, we have to transport it somehow. And the first step from electricity to something which we can transport is an electrocatalytic step, is electrolysis. If we then have the hydrogen, we may convert it to ammonia, we may convert it to methanol, which are easier to transport. And we have, very frankly, in the energy transition, reinvent the chemical industry. The chemical industry relies basically exclusively on hydrocarbons, fossil hydrocarbons. We have to reinvent it, base it on something renewable, maybe engineer some of the value streams, but the most important one is take the fossil feedstock out, put renewable feedstocks in. Any molecule we use as renewable feedstock will be produced by catalysis.
So thank you, Ferdi. In your opinion, why such a conference, ICC, is important?
Well, I'll give you an answer which you may not expect. I think it's not important for having all the new results presented, because publication times in journals have been so fast by now that often what we hear here has been printed in a journal. Nevertheless, a conference like ICC, which happens only every 4 years, is extremely important for several reasons. The first one is, I think for the young people, and I talked to quite a number of young people here, it's absolutely inspiring to see and hear leaders in the field who are excited by the research they are doing and really transplant this kind of excitement also to the young people. So I think it's really an inspirational event. And not just for the young ones, I'm also inspired by the younger colleagues, but also by my, I would almost said older colleagues, but there are not so many older ones, so by the colleagues of my age group. So it's really an inspiring event. The second one is, as much as you can learn from papers, the direct exchange between people. Just asking, what is here in this graph? I don't understand this particular element, this data point, what happened there? Sometimes brings up new ideas. And so I think it's important to have a direct exchange and response to something which has been published, even if I've read it before. And the third element is, if you meet colleagues, you also meet colleagues you like. And the colleagues you like are the ones with whom you want to collaborate. And so conferences, I think, are wonderful opportunities to refresh old friendships and collaborations and forge new ones. And so I think even if everything, which is not true, even if everything would have been published before, a conference like this one is still extremely important, I think.
Thank you, Ferdi. It was great to have you here. Thank you again.
It was a pleasure both to be here in this interview, but also to be here at this wonderful conference. Thank you.
Thank you again.